Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. People flying in from abroad will need to home quarantine for a week after landing in India and test on the 8th day in new rules that take effect on Tuesday to tackle a huge Omicron-driven surge in COVID cases in the country. All passengers have to go into home isolation for 7 days and take an RT-PCR test after that. If they test positive, they will be sent to an isolation facility and their samples will be sent for genome sequencing. Passengers seated near them and the cabin crew will be treated as contacts. If the test is negative, the passengers will further self-monitor their health for the next 7 days. That's what the new rules say. Meanwhile, the number of at-risk countries has been increased to 19. 9 more have been added since December. Interestingly, Singapore, which was an at-risk nation, has now been removed from that list. Now remember, for the flights from countries that are not on this at-risk list, 2% of the passengers picked randomly will be tested on arrival. Let's look at the COVID figures now. Delhi's daily COVID cases shot up by nearly 15% on Friday after 17,335 fresh cases were detected in 24 hours. 9 people have died in the national capital in the same period. Delhi's positivity rate, the number of people testing positive for every 100 tests, has jumped to 17.73%. Now, Maharashtra on Friday recorded 40,925 new cases in 24 hours, a 13% spike over yesterday. 20 fatalities were also reported from the state in the same period. Now, a day after its highest ever daily cases of coronavirus, Mumbai on Friday registered a marginal spike with 20,971 cases being reported in 24 hours. Of the total cases, 84% are asymptomatic. 1,395 patients have been hospitalized with coronavirus in those 24 hours, and of them, 88 are on oxygen support. 6 deaths were also recorded in 24 hours. Now, in Mumbai, in Dharavi, cases have jumped by a whopping 2,100% or 21 times in just around 10 days in the Dharavi area. 150 fresh cases have been reported on Friday, taking the total number of active cases to 588. The BMC, that's the Mumbai civic body, is taking all measures to activate all quarantine centers and hospital beds at its disposal.
As COVID cases continue to rise sharply with the state and the city reporting huge numbers, that impact is being felt in Dharavi as well. Now, Dharavi has a unique problem. Small houses, tenements, where isolation is practically impossible if someone tests positive. So that means that a more number of people have to be institutionally quarantined and perhaps also be sent to the medical facilities available. In the congested lanes of Dharavi, the virus is racing, up by over 2,100% in just around 10 days. Officials outline the challenges.
On 27 December, there were only 27 active cases in Dharavi. Currently, there are more than 450 active cases in Dharavi. Now, the challenge is to isolate them because, see, there is no question of home isolation because 80% of people in Dharavi stays in, depends on community toilet, which is being used by several people, and there are hardly 450 community toilets in entire Dharavi.
Mumbai civic body has already asked private hospitals to augment bed capacity to peak levels, which means the maximum number of hospital beds will be available in the city. The BMC commissioner, who had told NDTV that more restrictions would kick in if daily cases crossed 20,000, ordered private hospitals to restore bed capacity to peak levels as it was on 5th May 2021. Private hospitals have also been asked to ensure that there are no direct admissions without intimating ward war rooms. 80% of total COVID-19 beds and 100% COVID ICU beds at private hospitals will be reserved for ward war rooms to allot to COVID patients.
During the wave 2 of COVID, we created close to 160 beds. Out of that, close to 90 beds were there in one of the facilities, and that is active and we are in the process of opening up one external center where close to 65 patients can be accommodated. We had a center along with the BMC where we planned for high dependency bed around 20 numbers. So if needed, we'll activate those beds also. But at this juncture, it becomes very important for us to keep our human resources like doctors, nurses safe and secured.
From 27 to nearly 600 in just around 10 days. That's how fast the virus is spreading in Dharavi, Mumbai's most congested slum. But with infections less severe and less hospitalizations, the situation is under control. But as cases rise, the demand for quarantine centers will increase, and that officials say is going to be a challenge in the third wave. In Mumbai, with camera person Ashok Mahadik, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Now let's shift focus to Karnataka. The state on Friday reported 8,449 fresh cases of coronavirus in 24-hour period, 68% more than the previous day. State capital Bengaluru alone accounted for more than 6,800 cases. The case positivity rate now stands at 4.15%. The Omicron variant, which is driving up the cases globally, has been detected in 107 people in the state in the last 24 hours. In a major relief to the doctors, Supreme Court on Friday allowed for the commencement of NEET PG counselling. Admission process will now be based on 27% reservation of OBCs and 10% for the EWS categories. The judgment effectively brings to an end the delay in the admission to PG medical courses for hundreds of junior doctors, a delay that had put a great deal of pressure on the existing workforce of resident doctors already grappling with the third COVID wave.
Discuss about that case. Yes,
a major respite for over 45,000 doctors burdened with COVID care. With the top court allowing the commencement of counselling process for admissions in medical postgraduate courses. Thousands of doctors have been protesting, asking for the commencement of counselling. According to Supreme Court order, the Supreme Court allowed 27% reservation for other backward classes and 10% quota for students from poor families. For economically weaker category, existing criteria of 8 lakh a year income limit has been upheld for this academic year. Top court will hear the petition regarding the validity of EWS criteria in March. Healthcare workers have expressed relief after orders of Supreme Court.
Since day one, we have been demanding that the NEET PG counselling should happen as soon as possible. Our doctors are also coming positive day by day, and as a result of which we are continuously falling short of manpower. So it's a big sign of relief, and with thanks to Supreme Court.
Centre on 29th July 2019 brought a reservation of 27% for OBC and 10% for EWS category in medical dental admissions. 8 lakh income criteria fixed by the Centre for determining EWS category. Several petitions were filed in Supreme Court against the decision of Centre. Supreme Court on 7th October questioned 8 lakh income criteria for EWS category. Centre on 30th November formed a committee to review the EWS criteria while putting counselling for new admissions on hold. With continuous delays in fresh admissions during COVID-19, doctors started protests across the country, following which Centre urged the Supreme Court to allow admissions based on existing rules. The Supreme Court, while allowing the commencement of counselling for NEET postgraduate and undergraduate courses, called this a matter of national importance. This order by the Supreme Court is coming at a time when the entire country is already facing a dearth of healthcare workers amid a rising third wave. And this order by the Supreme Court is expected to provide a major respite to the healthcare services across the country, with about 45,000 doctors expected to join the workforce soon. With correspondent Ashish Bhargav and camera person Pawan Tiwari, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Now, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Friday took Prime Minister Modi head-on at an official function where Ms. Banerjee declared that the project that Prime Minister Modi was supposed to inaugurate was actually inaugurated by the state government long ago. The occasion was the opening of the second campus of the Chittaranjan National Cancer Institute in Kolkata.
मैंने ये प्रोग्राम में
किया है प्रधानमंत्री के लिए, बिकॉज प्रधानमंत्री जी इज वर्चुअली इनागुरेटिंग दिस प्रोजेक्ट. माननीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री मेरे को 2 दफे फोन किया था. इसी के लिए मैंने सोचा कि एक कलकत्ता का प्रोग्राम जिसमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर का इंटरेस्ट, उन्होंने खुद इंटरेस्ट लिया है, उनको जानकारी के लिए मैं कहने चाहूंगी कि इसका उद्घाटन हम लोगों ने पहले ही कर दिया. कैसे कर दिया? जब कोविड हुआ था, जब हमको कोविड का सेंटर का जरूरत था, तब मैंने खुद एक दिन उधर में गया. फिर राजारहाट सेकेंड कैंपस चित्तरंजन हॉस्पिटल को मैंने देखा कि ये स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के साथ जुड़ा है, और उधर में हम लोगों ने सिस्टम बना दिया था. ये हमको बहुत काम पे आया. प्रधानमंत्री को जानकारी के लिए खुश होगा कि इसमें 25% राशि हम लोग भी स्टेट से खर्चा कर रहे हैं. वी आर ऑल्सो फंडिंग 25%. एंड ऑल्सो रिकरिंग खर्चा जो है इस साल का 71 करोड़, वो भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दे रहा है. एक कैंपस करने के लिए 11 एकड़ लैंड हम कैंसर हॉस्पिटल को दिया है. इसी के लिए कोई काम में सेंट्रल स्टेट को एक साथ में काम करने पर, इसी के लिए जब पब्लिक का काम पे आए और पब्लिक को डेवलपमेंट के लिए आए.
Now, 2 days after a major security breach left Prime Minister Modi stuck on a Punjab highway for 20 minutes, a fresh video that has emerged shows a group of men carrying a BJP flag shouting slogans of BJP Zindabad, standing dangerously close to the Prime Minister's car. Now, this has brought another twist to the security breach story. Meanwhile, speaking to NDTV, Punjab Chief Minister has said that security row is an excuse to impose President's rule. He has now tweeted, quoting Sardar Patel, saying that those who are more concerned about their lives than their duty in a country like India should not hold positions of responsibility.
A 3-member committee constituted by Union Home Ministry visiting the spot in Firozpur, the exact place where on the 5th of January the Prime Minister's convoy was stuck. The team summoned the State Police Chief S. Chattopadhyay and 13 other senior police officials to Firozpur to find answers to the most important question: who is responsible? Later, Ministry of Home Affairs also issued a show-cause notice to the Bhatinda Senior Superintendent of Police, telling him to reply within a day. Later in the day, some new videos surfacing showing the Prime Minister's car with BJP supporters meters away from the motorcade, not the protesting farmers. The matter also came up in the Supreme Court, with the top court directing the Registrar General of the Punjab and Haryana High Court to forthwith seize and secure records of the security measures for Prime Minister's visit to Punjab on the 5th of January. A bench led by Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana orally asked Punjab and the centre to meanwhile put on hold the inquiries of its respective committees till Monday, the next date of hearing. Meanwhile, the political slugfest continued between the centre and the state government. Congress's Punjab Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu saying this is an attack and insult on Punjab and Punjabiyat.
कि 70,000 कुर्सियों पे 500 बंदों को हिंदुस्तान का प्रधानमंत्री एड्रेस करे, जब कोई ऐसा प्लान ही नहीं था कि वो सड़क से जाएंगे, तो यकायक ये प्लान कैसे बदला? और अगर बदला तो ये बहुत साफ है कि वो इस ह्यूमिलिएशन से बचना चाहते थे कि जो बीजेपी का कंप्लीट फेलियर, दे वर लाइक अ बस्ट बलून, इस बात को अवॉइड करने के लिए उन्होंने ये बहाना रचा है।
ऐसा है। In an exclusive interview to NDTV, Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi said the real intention of the centre is to impose President's rule in the state.
आपको डर है इस बात का कि इसी बहाने राष्ट्रपति शासन?
अरे डर नहीं है, इन लोगों की सोच है इन लोगों की ये सोच है कि यहाँ अराजकता फैलाए, यहाँ लोगों को डराकर वोटें लें। पंजाब डरने वाली स्टेट नहीं है।
The Congress's response today in reply to the BJP's nationwide protests like this one. MPs of the party sitting near the Gandhi statue in Parliament and central ministers scathing attack on the Congress's interim president Sonia Gandhi.
I would like to tell the Congress establishment. Modi became the Prime Minister of India with the blessings of the people of India. Narendra Modi went to Punjab today to dedicate projects worth 42,000 crores for the people of Punjab. When you can't answer on issues of development, this is the depths to which you will fall.
Even 2 days after the incident on January 5th, the state police chief has not come out with a detailed statement to ascertain and identify that what exactly happened, which led to the Prime Minister's convoy to return without addressing a rally in Firozpur district. And this has only led to a bitter blame game between the centre and the state government. In Chandigarh, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Welcome back. 6 cops who were arrested in the death of a Kanpur businessman Manish Gupta have now been charged with murder. All of them were arrested in October. The cops have been charged with murder and criminal conspiracy. In September, Mr. Gupta, 36-year-old, was meeting his friends at a Gorakhpur hotel when a team of cops barged into their room for a late-night raid. The snow-covered peaks of Gulmarg and Sonmarg, long visited by tourists, could now see more army presence. Why? Nazir Masoodi explains.
These snow-covered peaks, long visited by tourists, could now see more presence of the army. 129 acres of land in Gulmarg, India's finest skiing destination, and 44 acres in Sonmarg have been handed over to the army.
The decision which sparked the concern has been taken by the government, which notified the land as strategic area after a request by the army to use the land for operational and training requirements.
This decision has been taken even though these areas are not close to the border and are largely conflict-free. Curiously, the army already has a presence here, running high-altitude warfare schools. Political parties criticized the decision, saying it is going to further militarize this picturesque region.
This land acquisition by security forces will inevitably create a war zone like atmosphere in the area, and now that they have taken over around 1300 canals of land in Gulmarg and Sonmarg, this is extremely sad that our prime locations are being occupied by forces.
What is the need of the hour? The need of the hour is to demilitarize this place instead of bringing the military to the doorsteps of the people. Irony is that Kashmiri Pandits have been waiting for 32 years to return to their home, but the government could not find land.
An order issued by the Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Department says the army has been asked to adhere to environmental laws and to prevent any hazard.
Well, army needs land for its operational requirements given its massive presence in Kashmir. The people associated with tourism industry ask why 2 prime tourist destinations in Kashmir, Gulmarg and Sonmarg, are being militarized even further. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.